Hey y'all, good morning. My brother just posted a video. He lives in Alabama. For various reasons, he had to move down there. Um, and there's been a lot of tension regarding the abortion laws, and friends that I have are like, "Fuck Alabama," I mean, it's like, he has to deal with that, and he has to deal with living down there and being in the middle of a really, really ultra conservative Christian, Baptist, whatever area that are completely lost in their imaginations um, of their ideologies. Anyway, regarding abortion, I've actually had to go through two abortions with girlfriends, and it was really hard. One, it turned out we didn't know who the dad was, and it was long enough ago that the only way to find out would have been the baby would have been born. Babies, it was twins. Um, and I really wanted the kids, but when I found out that might not be mine, then it was like, oh, great. So, and then another time, I went through an abortion with a woman, and it was it was totally her choice, of course. Both times was, of course, but um, the first time was a different matter. Second time, it was just not a good time to bring a kid into the world in that situation. And this is my point. And I don't know. I'm starting to feel like there's some conservative people on the other side of my camera, and I understand that. I'm starting to run into that in life more, and it's confusing, but that's the way politics are. And I absolutely believe in women's rights and the freedom to choose what they want to do with their body. But one thing I'm not hearing people say is the choice for the kid's life. Bringing a kid into the world is a choice. Okay? Um, a forced birth is, say it's a situation where the woman does not want to have the kid, and the dad, who knows, right? A forced birth is a birth of an unwanted child at that point. You know, it is. You're people don't talk about the unwanted kid. That kid brought into this life unwanted, even if he's adopted. Okay, there's going to be a point, unless they keep it secret from the kid, which is evil. They're going to find out at one point, after their happy years, the kid's happy years are over, that they're adopted. And it's not going to be a pretty sight in this society. It's not. You know, very rarely is a kid going to grow up and feel good that they're adopted. Maybe they are in a good situation. In fact, any of you watching this, if you're adopted, please tell your story. I'd love to hear it. Because I actually have first cousins where all three of my cousins were adopted, and it's a little bit of a horror story. It's not a good thing at all. Only really one of my cousins made it out all right, but still, it's like, being adopted in the 60s. I don't know. I mean, I think it's a different world now, and I think it's actually a far less good time to be adopted, because yeah, what is the because? It's just this feeling, there's just like there really is so many things in society that can overwhelm a kid's mind. I think I think more often a kid can become very confused early because there's so much stimulus coming at you, you know, from social media, from everything, you know, and I think being adopted these days um, is not a beneficial thing. So, in this whole conversation, I think to bring an unwanted child into society is not a good idea. You know, Ev I, you know, the right wing Christians are always going to be like, they're always wanted. Okay, what do you think the kid's gonna think when he's, you know, whatever, when he's like 15 and he realizes, oh, you're not my parents. Who were? No, the reality is he was not wanted because he's not with his real parents. That's the fact. Okay. So yeah, I just wanted to put that out there. I was pretty blown away when, you know, there was the huge shooting in, you know, the kid. I don't think he even went to the school any longer. He went into that school in Ballard County or whatever, and he shot. You know, he killed like a bunch of kids in Florida. You know, that was like a year and a half ago, or I don't know, something like that. He was adopted. Which doesn't mean this is gonna. I'm not trying to make a point like this is the type of thing that's going to happen, but there's an interview with him where he's being interviewed by, you know, police people, whatever, you know, psychologists, and it's really interesting because he does go into like how he looks at life, and he literally is like, all I have is my brother, you know, and I don't even know if his brother, I don't think his brother was even his, you know, blood brother, you know. So he was adopted, and then the his adopted parents rejected him, or whatever, or something like that. It was just like you know, and he was, you know, he was it's almost like it's hard to say at that point. You know, people would say, oh, he's mentally ill. Well, being put in a situation where you're an unwanted child and you're coming to terms with that in society, that may create some mental illness. So there you go. I mean, there's another point. You can, you know, you can gather a lot of anger, frustration, being pissed off at the world pretty young, depending on your circumstances. Anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there. If any of you are adopted, if any of you are adopted and like 18 years old, I'd love to know your honesty. If you don't want to share for one reason or another what's going on, how you feel, you can send me an email. I'd love to hear your story. You know, if you don't want to share it on the feed, and I'm curious. Anyway. All right, you guys. Thanks much. Bye.